Since 1950 in this country. Ah! The green line going like that, right, through 2010, by the way, all right, is the manufacturing output. We're making more with less people.
Wow.
That's okay. This is called technology. We're moving forward. But you're not freaked out by this graph, which is the line going down here, jobs in agriculture. The line going up like this since 1950, agricultural output.
But it seems to me that there's an awful lot of people sitting around wondering what to do.
Well, unemployment's still at 9%, right? Well, so I'll give you my theory on why that is. Because everybody is very confused as to what the hell is going to happen. Small businesses are not hiring, which is where more than 60% of the jobs that are created in small businesses. And when I say small businesses, 10 or fewer employees, folks. I'm not talking about a $300 million company. That, by the way, that's how the government defines a small business. 300 million, really?
Wow.
We think the Small Business Administration is taking care of the $3 million company, giving loans to the $3 million. You think that's happening? Right? It's all in the definitions, folks. This is why I caution you from an economic perspective is to ask questions. That's all I want you to do. The base law of economics, and by the way, there's a blog post on my blog, went live at 7 o'clock today. It's edkless.com. I'm not really pitching me, but this is where I can put it. edkless.com, edkless.com/AAP, Alumni Patriots. And there's a huge resource list of all of this stuff if you're interested in taking a look at some of these things. All right? And on that list is a book called Economics in One Lesson by a name of Henry Hazlitt, written in the 50s. And it's simply this. Economics is the study of what happens when you change policy and you have to look at both sides, all groups. He says that's the key. We look at all groups, not just what happens to one group, but what happens to all groups. So the most important thing in economics, and this is what a French economist named Bastiat said, is we need to understand that which is unseen. It is that which is unseen which is important for economic value. Another slide. This is where wealth comes from. Remember I said, I don't care how studying poverty gets you nowhere. I want to know where wealth comes from. We proved it right here. Right? The red bar is a company's cost. Company's cost, whatever this is, or even your individual cost as a person. Right? Then the yellow is the price that's on that. Right? That's the price. In aggregate, if we add up all the prices and all the costs, what do you call that? Any accountants in the room, what do you call that? Profit. That's profit, right? All of the aggregate revenue minus cost, all expenses, the difference is called profit. And that's what we look at. But this is the thing that is unseen. In most, the overwhelming majority of transactions, there is a third number that you don't see, and that is the value to the customer, or the end user, whatever you want to call it. Okay? You guys did this. You demonstrated this in the game. When you made your trade, both your numbers went up, yes? Mostly. Some of you might have just gone up 1, some of you went up 2, depending upon what it is. It doesn't matter. But you see, they both went up. The economy is not a zero-sum game. Anybody see Wall Street? Great, famous movie, Wall Street. Great movie. Oliver Stone, terrific filmmaker. I got to tell you, right? He's a terrific. I love his movies. He's a really good filmmaker. He's a lousy economist. He's even a more lousy historian. The JFK film, I'm not totally buying in. Just saying. Right? Go to anybody been to the 6th floor museum?
Yes.
Extremely well done. You get the straight scoop as far as I'm concerned down there. Okay? Very balanced. All right? But he's a lousy historian. He's a lousy economist. In the movie Wall Street, there's a famous quote, the greed is good stuff, but then there's the scene where with Charlie winning Sheen, remember him? Before he went like totally crazy. All right? So where he's talking, he said, how many boats are enough, Gordon? How many boats are enough? And Gecko says, it's a zero-sum game, my friend. Wealth isn't created or destroyed. It is merely transferred from one perception to the next. Okay? That's the line. And if you buy in, and look, most of us have a tendency to buy into this zero-sum thinking. We think it's zero-sum, right? It's not. We proved it. In fact, he's so wrong, he got it not only wrong, but inverted. Think about it. What we demonstrated through our little game this evening is that wealth is created through the transference of products, services, knowledge from one perception to the other. So he not only had it wrong, he had it inverted. Not backwards. Inverted. And we all tend to think that it's zero-sum. Occasionally, we all do, because this is what is known as it's counterintuitive, right? We think that if we trade one, we're getting an equal exchange. Ever hear that? Equal exchange? No, not an equal exchange. There's greater value. One of the things that drives me nuts is when we hear talk about Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, who need to give back to the community. Have you heard this? Okay. Give back. And look, I hope I alleviate some of your guilt if you've ever had this over making money. Money is not the problem. Love of money is the root of all evil. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay? But have you ever paused to consider what is the root of all money? What is the root of all money? How do you get money? Every single one of you. What do? The work. You got to do something good for someone else. Yes? You do something good for something, they give you money. Because it's this medium exchange. We use dead dollars, but in this case it's US dollars. We do this in exchange because it's way better to trade and have some medium exchange than to carry around chickens and cows if we want milk. It's just easier to do this. All right? Love of money is the root of all evil, yeah. But the root of all money is actually to be other-centric, altruistic. My dad was a Latin teacher, which is, did you see my Big Fat Greek Wedding? You see that movie? And there was the kind of the running gag, which is, give me a word and I'll tell you how the origin is Greek. Remember the whole thing? It was sort of like that in my house, only with Latin. Kind of weird, but it was. I did really well on my SATs, so thanks, Dad, for that. But altruism means other-centric. Other-centric. In this way, profit for a company and for you as an individual, profit is an indicator, not the sole determinant, don't get me wrong, is an indicator of your altruism. How other-centered you and your organization is. You must be focused outward. Peter Drucker, the great management consultant, really understood this absolutely and totally. He said, look, inside an organization, there are only costs. It's only outside organizations where results happen. In fact, he came to this understanding in his work with not-for-profits. He says the result of a school is not an efficiently run school. It's an educated student. The result of a hospital is not an efficiently run hospital. It's a cured patient. The result of a business is not an efficiently run business. It's a happy, satisfied customer. Yes?
If I were to buy into what you're saying,
Yeah.
the people that do the most good for other people should be the wealthiest, and they're not.
Really? Bill Gates goes up there. I think he did more good for this world than anybody.
They did a lot of good, but I'm saying
Now, look,
all
there,
the people
and
that
remember,
do the most
I
good.
agree, and let me get back. Remember I said, Profit is an indicator, not the sole determinant of your altruism. There are other factors. Are there such things as corporatism and rent-seeking that happen? Yes, absolutely. And this is why we must separate